and welcome. This is the second episode of the CogCast. Hope you enjoyed the first one. I'm running this one alone today, so it probably won't be as long as the other ones, but I just want to get another one out there. I might do one by myself just once a week, just so you can hear me ramble about whatever, because I know you love it. The rundown on what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to bring story time. I got a lot of stories to tell. They're all true, and they're all out of control. I also have You Might Be a Millennial If. I don't know if you guys remember Jeff Foxworthy. Used to, his claim to fame was, you might be a redneck if, then he would give a punchline. So I have a few of those lined up. We'll talk about sports a little bit, about March Madness, also about what happened in NASCAR recently. Also, I have a top 5. I'll bring that's going to be a regular bit. Top 5. This top 5 will be cliche spring break pictures. It is spring break, so we'll talk about that. Also, with St. Patrick's Day, there is, according to the site, there's like 6 facts you didn't know about St. Patrick's Day. In facts, it's typically about leprechauns. So, the term fact is a little loose, but, we'll go with that. So, story time. This was about when I was 21, 22. We were going to, it was with my unit, we're going to get deployed. So we went to training in Texas, and we had a 2-week off to where we could go wherever we wanted before we needed to come back, get ready, and go to Afghanistan. So you can go anywhere you want. You get 2 weeks, maybe it was 1 week. I don't know, I can't remember, but you can go anywhere you want. You can go to Hawaii, you can go to, people went to Puerto Rico, people went, someplace that was really exotic and fun. I went to Tallahassee, Florida. Why? Because I'm an idiot. And 2, because I'm a family man, and I wanted to see my family before I left. So we got released, and everybody's like, well, what are we going to do? So me and my buddies, we decide, hey, let's get loaded, let's go hang out, and we ended up at a strip club. First, we got a hotel where we just rented it out, and, we started drinking, started having fun. And we ended up where a lot of other people ended up, this place called Jaguars. Now, let me tell you where we're in El Paso, Texas. And you can literally see the city of Juarez, the maybe most dangerous city in the world, in plain sight. So, it could have been shot, just from looking at it, whatever. But El Paso, according to a cab driver, said it was the city of lost souls. I mean, I don't know how warranted he is in his knowledge, but maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong, who knows. So let me talk about Jaguars. And, well, first let me preface this. I'm not a strip club guy. I don't like going to strip clubs. I think they're disgusting. Something about it just screams loser, because you're waiting in line to pay money to put your nose in some woman's crotch did she shower? How many people were with her before? She's kind of ugly. But no, people get in line like it's Disney, and they wait, and they pay her money to, put their nose in it like it's a rose, smell it up, do whatever else they want, no thank you. But we ended up going, and it's BYOB, which is odd for a club or anything like that, but it's BYOB. So we bring the booze. We're hanging out. We're at this place, and it's called Jaguars. I spent $5 that night. Okay, I spent $5, and it was to an older lady who was selling roses. And I was like, you know what? I'll buy a rose just to spend some kind of money. The night quickly got out of control because people were going into private rooms. People were just, drinking shots, doing all kinds of other stuff that we had brought. I mean, it really did get out of control because near the end of the night, everyone's gone. I'm sitting there by myself, and then all of a sudden, we hear like some alarm go off or something, we're like, whoa, 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 what is that? And the cops had shown up, and we all meet outside, and we see this guy coming out of the strip club, right? And he's got a towel around his head. And we're just like, what's that guy doing with a towel on his head? Like, it was like a white towel. And then he turned a few degrees towards us, and it was completely red. He had been stabbed in the head by some random guy. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But that's not even the worst part. Another guy was stuck in a room with somebody who didn't know you had to pay per song. So he's in there. It's like 5 songs in. Luckily, since the guy got stabbed, everybody just ran out of there and he didn't have to pay anything. And while we're waiting outside, this like stocky black dude goes up to the biggest bouncer there, this 6'5", probably 260, 270 bouncer, Mexican dude. Yeah, Mexican, because we are close to Mexico, but, I'm not going to race bait anybody here. And he walks up to him, and he wants to start a fight. And he's, like, pushing him around, and then the bouncer's like, you don't want to do this, bro, you don't want to do this. So we're, this is like World Star Hip Hop, before World Star. They get into a brawl, and like they start, the stocky guys. I wouldn't mess with the stocky guy. I'm not gonna fight anybody, but I wouldn't mess with him. But this huge bouncer was like, no, 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 no. Boom, boom, boom. He got hit like 3 times in the face. The stocky dude just drops right to the ground, and he's got this like fat white girlfriend. He's like, no. And then he eventually gets back up, and one of my buddy picks, like he had like gold chains that fell on the ground. He picks them up, gives it back to him. That bouncer eventually took our picture in front of that place. I don't know if I have the picture anymore, but he eventually did. And as we were in there, my friend, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to call him out. But he's like, man, I was in there, I had a private dance, and I did one of the strippers. I was like, you did one of the strippers? Like, I guess that's common in a strip club, to have sex with a stripper. And you're just asking for it, right? Like, you're asking for whatever is going to come your way. And he went into detail about the sexual escapade, okay? So first of all, he had sex unprotected, no condom, right? And this is a stripper. This is the end of the night. This is like the 2 a.m. stripper who's, scrounging for whatever she can get. So he did it. And what do you think happened after that? He finished inside of the stripper, unprotected, 2 a.m. Disgusting. It's like, dude, what are you thinking? I wasn't thinking. But if you think that's the worst part, it's not. Because he found out the next day he didn't pull his pants down. He was wearing jeans, so he just unzipped his fly. During the intercourse, he had a cut on his penis during the entire litigation with the exotic dancer. If I were to Wikipedia, how can I get every STD in the book? That would be it. Have sex with a stripper, 2 a.m., unprotected, get a cut on my penis, go in and out, finish with the cut, mind you, and that was it. I was like, dude, you're dumb. I was drunk, I wasn't thinking. So kids, if you go to a strip club, okay, this is Uncle Cog talking to you right now. If you go to a strip club, first of all, you probably shouldn't go. And that's just my, because it's a waste of money. It is. For anything you can do, any place else you can go, it's a waste of money. And if you're going to have sex with a stripper, please bring a condom. Okay? We don't need any more STDs, any more things floating around. And, worst case scenario, eject, pull the cord, don't go down with the ship. You got plenty to live for. But we ended up leaving, 3 o'clock when all the cops showed up. Some people went straight to the airport that night and flew home. We went back to our hotel. I got like an hour of sleep. Woke up, flew to Tallahassee, felt terrible. Parents were there, kiss you, hug you, hi, how's it going? I was at a strip club maybe 4 hours earlier. Sorry, Mom. Well, that's the story. It was nuts. It's out of control. I don't like strip clubs. I don't like them. Now we're going to talk about you might be a millennial if. Now, millennial is like a throwaway term that people use. I don't know. I guess it's like today's new like hippie term. But, Jeff Foxworthy made a lot of jokes, but you might be a redneck if. So prepare to laugh. This is you might be a millennial. If you get offended that someone else didn't get offended by something you were offended by, you might be a millennial. If you didn't post your workout or what you ate or where you went on social media, you might be a millennial. When you're mad that your Wi-Fi doesn't work and you have to use your own data, you might be a millennial. If kale is your religious preference, you might be a millennial. If you think going to the bathroom without your phone is an accomplishment, you might be a millennial. For you who don't know what March Madness is, it's the only thing that makes college basketball relevant. Because it's pretty boring, from just an outsider's point of view, or even someone who likes sports. It's kind of boring because there's a lot of games, and it's whatever. However well you do in your conference tournament, predicates how well you will be seeded in the tournament. And the number one seeds are Gonzaga. And there's a lot of guff between them because they didn't play a hard schedule, people say, but they're always in the tournament. They're like some team in Washington that, is like a really small town, but, always play good in basketball. North Carolina, one of the most historic teams. Michael Jordan played for North Carolina. They got a really good coach, so they're kind of always in it. The other number one seeds, if I can find out where they are, Villanova, they won it last year. They're a team in Philly, and then Kansas is another number one seed. But, the media, the lamestream media, wants you to believe that, like a number 9 could go all the way, a number 12. It's only happened like 3 times for like a lower seed goes. So it's easy to be romanced by the idea of, maybe, a number 12 seed could go all the way. Maybe, but it's rare. So if you're this podcast is going to come out after you already make your picks. But if you can get into like a late pick 'em, it's going chalk, as they say. Like when you pick like the number 1s, number 2s, like it's lame, but it's like the smartest bet if you're going to bet. I did a few pick 'em pools. Traditionally, my Final Four has Villanova, Arizona, Kansas, and UCLA. That's the typical. I've done a few of them. And I picked Villanova to win in about 2 of them and UCLA to win in another one. And, I was thinking about it. They're like, well, why would you do multiple ones? Because I don't know. Why wouldn't I do multiple ones? I forget who it was, someone on Colin Cowherd who said, if you go to a bar, you just don't talk to one chick. You talk to a lot of chicks. And it makes sense. So if you're going to do a bracket, do a bunch of them. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Because no one's an expert. And all these bracketologists come out, yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. No, they don't know what they're talking about. It's typically going to be 1 through 4 who are in, the Final Four. But, it is interesting to watch. It makes the tournament more fun. I do like participating in it just because, you do get to, it makes it more exciting. Which is cool, and it's sports, so I'm a guy. I like sports. So yeah, I picked Villanova to win a few of them. I picked UCLA to win another one. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it will be a 10 seed. Maybe it will be a 12 seed. I highly doubt it, but hey, it's basketball. Next on the agenda is, so there was this NASCAR race in Las Vegas. Now, I don't care about NASCAR. Like, I couldn't care less about a sport. Like, NASCAR to me, like, and I do think it's a sport only because I couldn't do it. It's pretty physically demanding to turn left all day, going 100 miles an hour, whatever it is. It's mentally, that, and yes, I will give it sport, their sport title or whatever, but I couldn't care less. Like, I really don't care. Like, I would never watch NASCAR. I don't want to go to a NASCAR event. So the only reason I'm talking about this NASCAR event was there was a fight. Okay, there's a fight between Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. And Joey Logano, he was like famous because he was like 18. He's not 18 now, but like when he joined, he was like one of the younger guys who joined the fight or the NASCAR. And there was a fight. It broke out, and it was, I don't know what it was, but someone bumped somebody else, and Bush says he's gonna get it. And all right, so I got dumped, Bush said, a trickle of blood rolling down his forehead and onto his nose as he strode away from the track. Flat out, drove straight into the corner and wrecked us. That's how Joey races. He's going to get it. Apparently, none of these guys got punished, like for a fight after, but NASCAR loves that because they want the ratings. They want the fight. That's why hockey allows fighting. Who watches hockey? Nobody. But they'll watch the fights. I don't know. If it's not boxing or MMA, like, you shouldn't be allowed to fight. Like, could you imagine if NBA was allowed to fight? Could you imagine if the NFL was allowed to fight? No, because it's entertaining enough. They don't need fights. So the fact that you publicize fighting just completely diminishes your sport because no one else is watching it for any other reason. Maybe 10% of sports fans are watching it because, I want to watch turn left hard. I want to watch, the rev, how fast they can get their tires changed. Personally, I don't like sports that destroy the environment. With NASCAR, the gas, the whatever it is. I mean, you can make your argument for any sport, football players flying on a plane or whatever, but I don't know. I'm not a big NASCAR fan. And another pet peeve I have with NASCAR is like 50% of the cars are sponsored by booze. The Busch car, the Bud Light car, the Miller High Life car. Get yourself a Bud. But don't drink and drive, even though it's plastered all over this car that's going 100 miles an hour and completely publicized for everyone to see. So it's a bit of a double standard, but that's it for every sport. You watch, the NFL, you watch college football. Guys who are under 21. Every other ad's a beer ad, Study hard, do your work, get loaded off Bud Light because it's fun. And look at us, we're all successful, young, in shape people. Those ads are complete, nonsense because the average Bud Light drinker is either a college frat boy or just some fat old person that's watching sports. So, but that's advertising. That's for another time or day, but yeah, I'm not a big NASCAR fan. But for people who like it, they like it. That's what you do. It's how you are. It's good for you. Not for me. So we're going to go into my top 5. And this week's top 5 is cliche spring break pictures. So everyone's been on spring break. You're bogged down from school, you just want to get cut loose. So people go to the beach, people go to, the water. They want to go to the water, they want to go to some place where they can just party and let loose and have sex and do drugs, Americana. So here it is, top 5. Cliche spring break pictures. Number 5 is a picture of a random palm tree. For whatever reason, people just post that. Just a random palm tree, nothing else. It's like we've seen palm trees before, especially in Florida. Like they're everywhere. I understand if you're from like Michigan or something like that, but come on, a palm tree? It's not Palm Sunday. Okay, and they'll even put a video of it like breezing. Like that's amazing, but it's been done. Number 4 is you with an exotic bird on your shoulder. People love it. People pay money to get a random bird to take a crap on them while they take a picture of it. You know, if that's your cash and that's your style, then go for it. But it's been done. You know, next, please. Number 3, a picture of a drink, and it's tagged, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. That is so played out. And I like Jimmy Buffett. You know, I like his songs. But, like, yes, you're right. Technically, it is 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. You know, no one's going to argue that fact. But if you're an alcoholic, just say it. Just say, hey, I'm an alcoholic. I'm drinking at 11 a.m. Here comes the first, you know, whiskey and Coke. You know, just be who you are. Don't hide behind a guise of tropical, you know, pleasant music. Number 2, a random picture on the beach flaunting a physical body part. Everyone's got their body part. Either it's their, you know, their chest, their butt, their abs, their smile. It's there, you know, and it's for everybody to see and everybody to like and everybody to comment on. Yeah, we see you. And I'm sure your children are going to love that picture with you holding a drink, flaunting your ass for the world to see. It's great. Really great. Number 1 is the one that makes me upset the most. It's just a picture of like them or the group or wherever it is. Do I really have to come back home? Yes. What do you think? You're just going to hang out at a beach town for the rest of your life? Is that really a way to live? You really want to do that? You really want to get drunk 12 hours a day, get sunburnt, eat overpriced seafood, get sand everywhere, be, you know, hungover all day? You really want to do that? A week isn't enough? Do you really have to come back home? The answer is yes. And if I see those, I'm going to mark yes on every single Facebook picture, Instagram. Do I always come back? Yeah. You do got to come back home. I'm sorry. It's not how the world works. If everybody was at the beach getting loaded, you know, what do you think? It's anarchy. Speaking of Facebook, I've made a vow to wow every picture. It's been difficult because I never noticed how many pictures I liked until I made myself wow every picture. I don't know why I did it. It's just the wow challenge. So if you want to partake in the wow challenge, just wow every picture. Because wow is it's a very loose term. It can be wow, that's crazy, or wow, that's sad, or wow, that's funny, or wow, I can't believe it. Because, you know, some people post, you know, like sad statuses, like, you know, my grandmother died today and she was, you know, she lived her life and blah, blah, blah. And people like it. And I'm like, are you really supposed to like that somebody died? It's always been confusing to me. I don't know what to put. They do have the sad and the heart and all that kind of stuff. I guess wow wouldn't be appropriate if somebody died. Unless it was like, you know, my grandma died bungee jumping or something like that. You know, then I could wow. But it's been difficult. But if you want to join me, #wow, do it. You know, you will realize how much stuff you actually like on Facebook. I didn't think I liked that much stuff. I thought it'd be easy, but I wow a lot of stuff. So finally, we're gonna finish it up with St. Patrick's Day facts. This is from themirror.co.uk, and it's called the best St. Patrick's Day facts. 6 bizarre things you didn't know about the Irish event. Spoiler alert, they're not that bizarre. They're really not. And they're not even facts, because St. Patrick's Day is it's a fake event about a fake mystical creature called leprechaun. But I am mostly Irish, so like this is my holiday, and it's a little embarrassing that my holiday, like other people's holidays, I guess Cinco de Mayo is kind of same thing. But, you know, some other holidays are for remembrance. Some are about, you know, togetherness. This one's just about drinking as much whiskey and beer as you can. I mean, I'm down. Like, it's fun, but, like, it's not, you know, it's not a holiday. But, hey, who am I to judge? Okay, so we're going to go 1. They weren't all that friendly. Leprechauns made their appearance in an 8th century poem. Apparently, angry men tried to drag him to the ocean and drown him. Well, first of all, if you're a leprechaun, here's your life. You're basically a small person. You wear a goofy green costume. You have an Irish accent. And you're always looking for like a pot of gold or something like that. Like, I'd be pissed too. I don't know how you could be a happy leprechaun. What's there to be happy about? You look ridiculous. Can't get a job anywhere. People don't take you seriously. No one would take you seriously. Like, I'd be upset. Like, that's not much of a fact, honestly. 2, they didn't even live in Ireland. Yes, you read that right. Did I? Wow. Ugh. Yes, you read that right. Of course I read it right. You wrote it. Didn't read it wrong. Nope, you read that wrong. No, I read it right. Thank you for that. According to early tales, leprechauns lived in an undersea kingdom in the mid-Atlantic. That really narrows it down. Mid-Atlantic. Yeah, pinpoint it. Says Tom O'Donnell, a UCL researcher in medieval Irish. That's got to be just a hot commodity. A researcher in medieval Irish. Hey, what are you going to be when you grow up? I want to be a researcher in medieval Irish. That's brilliant. No one's done it. Just go for it. Go for the gold. But who am I to say? You know what? If that's your bag, then pack your stuff. Number 3. They were all male. Irish folklore suggests there were no female leprechauns at all. So I'm already out. So that's another thing for them to be pissed about. It's all dudes. So there's no female leprechauns. It's just all guys hanging out. According to an ancient history book, History of Irish Fairies, there is only evidence of the existence of male leprechauns. We're not entirely sure what the deal was with procreation. Well, I can probably break it down for you. There wasn't any. If it was just all dudes. However, some believe leprechauns were the defective offspring of fairies. Another reason for them to be pissed off. You're a defective offspring. So fairies can fly. They got magic. What do you got? You got nothing. 4, they wouldn't fix your shoes. I've never heard of this before. The leprechauns fix shoes. The best you could hope for was they'd help you breathe underwear. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But I've never heard of the fixed shoes thing. 5, the crock of gold in the shoes, they were added a lot later. I guess crock is the same thing as pot of gold in European lingo. According to Mr. O'Donnell, the proclaimed medieval Irish historian, leprechauns were first linked to shoes in the 19th century. How did they find this guy? Mr. O'Donnell. What is he again? A history of... Oh my goodness. What was he? I'm going to look it up. A UCL researcher in medieval Irish. How do you find that guy? How does he exist? But the pot of gold, like, you do your best to hide it, but you can't hide it for long. Because it's easy to find. A rainbow leads you to it. Like maybe the most noticeable thing in the sky. A multicolored, gigantic, GPS to where your pot of gold is. Oh, so 6. They were much smaller than you'd think. You'd probably crush a leprechaun before you could hear it utter any crack and charming Irish accent. So apparently they would like fit in the palm of your hand. Leprechaun. How do they get clothes? If they're that small, like you'd think they would just wear like a loincloth or something, but they have like, a top hat. They have a tie, they have a suit, they have a belt. Who makes their clothes? I have no idea, but St. Patrick's Day is a fun day. You gotta wear green. I remember when I was a kid, there was like a guy with Down syndrome on, and I was with my family, and he goes, "I have green on, you can't pinch me." And I laughed at him, like, ha ha. And my dad's like, "What's so funny?" And I was like, he said, "He has green on, he can't pinch him, like, that doesn't mean anything." And he goes, "Actually, And on St. Patrick's Day, if you don't wear green, you do get pinched. And he goes, oh. So he goes, so who's the retard now? Now, I don't think my dad would say something like that because the word retard is pretty proclaimed. I'm sure if he listens to this, he's going to be like, nah, I didn't say that. He said it. It was funny, though. I mean, now that I think about it, it was kind of funny. Comeback. But you get pinched if you don't wear green. I mean, what if you're poor? What if you have no other clothes to wear? Get pinched? And perverts probably don't wear green just so they do get pinched, just so they can get off. So I'm not pinching anybody Friday. I don't want to get some kind of lawsuit where I pinched you because you weren't wearing green and I didn't know this or that or the other thing, but not doing it. So that's the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to reach out to me, you can email me at dacogcast@gmail.com. You can tweet me and Instagram me at Garrett W. Savage, GarrettTwSavage. Yeah, so we're going to try to pop these podcasts out. I'm going to try to have one on Tuesday, Thursday, and one on the weekend, anytime. I want to get as many guests as possible, odd guests. There really is no format. We're going to talk about whatever. So hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, tell other people about it. We're going to be on iTunes eventually once we get the ball rolling, so you can just download them from iTunes. But yeah, hope you guys have a nice day. And if you have anything, just reach out. Bye.